Mr. Raskin. I'll now recognize the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Harris, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to all of you on our panel today. You know, something that has been concerning to me is the Biden-Harris administration's targeting of Catholics in Richmond for being so-called extremists. And it was thanks to the investigative work done by this committee that we learned that the Biden-Harris administration relied on the Southern Poverty Law Center in its memo that labeled traditional Catholics as domestic terrorist threats. And I applaud FBI Director Kash Patel's decision to terminate the FBI relationship with the SPLC, although such a relationship should have been terminated a long, long time ago. Mr. Cipher, what does it say to you about the Biden administration's view of conservatives that they were using a resource that categorized conservative groups like ADF and Family Research Council among the likes of the Aryan Brotherhood and the Nation of Islam?
Mr. Harris, thank you. What it shows is that the Biden-Harris administration did not truly care about what most Americans believe. Turning Point USA represents what most Americans believe in the nuclear family. They believe in law and order. Those very things are the things that the SPLC uses in their very biased approach in targeting and labeling Christian conservative organizations.
Well, thank you, sir. Mr. Perkins, your organization advocates from a Christian worldview, but was labeled a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center for taking stances that align with simply biblical teaching. So I want to ask you a few questions, Mr. Perkins. Is the Christian worldview hateful?
No.
Is affirming that there are only two genders hateful?
No.
Is believing God created marriage between a man and a woman hateful?
No, it's the reason we're all here today.
Is the Christian worldview that teaches the very morals upon which this nation was founded hateful?
No, sir.
And does disapproving of someone's actions mean that you hate them?
No. The definition that the SPLC holds out is one that's trying to prevent violence. Words are not violent. When you're having a disagreement over public policy, you should be free to do so. And we advocate for their right and their freedom to do that. As a former police officer, as a Marine veteran, I've protected the First Amendment right. But what as issue here today is not a map, it's who uses the map. Government agencies should rely on transparent, peer-reviewed criteria, not partisan advocacy groups. And we should implement safeguards against unverified external lists used by government to target peace-loving, law-abiding citizens.
Well, according to a Gallup poll, 69% of Americans identify with a Christian denomination. Now, of course, you and I know that there's a diversity of beliefs within Christianity, but what does it say about the SPLC that they would label as hateful a group that aligns with the identity of the majority of our country?
Well, that they are anti-Christian for one, and biblical truth, and I would even question whether or not they're pro-American.
Thank you, sir. Mr. O'Neill, I worry that not every organization may have the resources to be able to deal with the consequences of being placed on SPLC's hate map. What are some of the challenges that you would see that may arise within an organization if they happen to land or be labeled a hate group by this group?
Yeah, there are many challenges. It chills some donors who are afraid that because of the hate map, the hate group designation, their information might be leaked, and then they would face repercussions for giving to an organization they believe in. But there are also, I have a list here of Alphabet used it for YouTube as a trusted flagger. Amazon Smile excluded conservative and Christian. And by the way, not always conservative and Christian. There are some very nonpartisan and even left-leaning groups on this map. But they excluded them from Amazon Smile. Benevity, which works with hundreds of companies to determine where their employees can give to charities, has bragged about using the SPLC hate map to determine which nonprofits can receive money. So there are many ways in which an organization can be negatively impacted by being put on this map.
Well, thank you. And thanks to all of you as witnesses. And Mr. Chairman, thank you for bringing this before the American people. I yield back.
I thank the gentleman from North Carolina. I'll now recognize the ranking member for some unanimous consent requests.
Thank you.